straw man. And they got to do the UCC one financing statement where everything you put in that UCC one gets discharged.
Yes, I said it. I'm going to say it one more time for you, Q-Day 777. It is fraudulent. It is not lawful, but it is legal.
That's the difference. Like somebody put in the comments, somebody told me this a long time ago, but I dismissed it because I wasn't ready. He said, law stands. The person in the comments said it too, if they watching this, but they said, the person that told me about it, and I forgot about it, you know, Matrix sleeping.
Yeah.
They said that law stands for land, air, and water. So the most dangerous man is not a man who's smart. The most dangerous man is a man who understands the law of, has an understanding and overstanding of LAW, which is land, air, and water. The most important understanding is knowing that land, air, and water is free.
Yep.
That's the most important understanding of all that.
They cannot charge you to exist.
It's impossible.
That means because what you guys don't understand is that while you're operating in their jurisdiction, they stole your birthright. Because your birthright is the land, air, and water that you live on. The reason that you have to pay for your birthright is because you signed it over to them.
Voluntarily.
Involuntarily. You didn't do it on purpose, but you gave your birthright to them. So you have to take back your birthright. When you take back your birthright of the lair and the land, air, and water, that is when you're free.
Yep.
Full faith and credit. If you don't know what that means, learn what that means.
I'm not even gonna lie. I don't even have the ability to tell you all of what that means. I understand it, but can I really tell you what it means as if I actually put it in action? Nah. But I tell you one thing though, I would rather have it than not have it.
HJR 192 has been replaced with Public Law 7310, and it's been codified in 31 USC 5118.
Nice.
That's the truth about House Joint Resolution 192 of the 73rd Congress. 73rd Congress. People seem to forget that there's more than one Congress.
Shit, I wasn't even aware of that.
Some people want to jump to the 93rd Congress, talking about the metric system, or like the 63rd, talking about giving women rights to vote or something. I'm like, did you not hear me when I said the 73rd Congress? For a reason.
Put that in the group chat, bro, when you get a chance.
I will. I'll put that in the group chat. Codified, because that's what it is. It's been, because somebody asked, wasn't it repealed? It was repealed, but it was replaced with Public Law 7310, and it's now codified. And when you go look at the code, the 31 USC 5118, there's even more public laws attached to that code. So yeah, it's been codified.
So
but you have to be private in order to use those methods.
I have a question. What if he wasn't born in America?
Oh, I can answer that one. So anybody who comes over here from a different country, they have naturalized themselves already. You see what I'm saying? So this is what I was just learning. I was just learning about this. When you come over here from a different country, you already come as a national before you apply for your citizenship and lower yourself. See that? This is how they trick you. They trick you. Right? Like I said, anything that they make you pay for and register, it's a trick. It's a trap to get you to contract with them. Anyone who comes over here from another country is a national. This is why they try so hard not to let people over here and then make you fight for citizenship for 8 months. A year, 2 years before they even let you on the land, because you are already a national with diplomatic immunity. Especially if you're coming from a nation that they have a treaty with. They can't touch you. You could come over here and apply for a national credentials already untouchable. So you're already a national before you apply for citizenship. See what I'm saying? It's all a trick. They make you pay to register. They make you pay to contract with them to give up your freedoms.
And that's what I thought. Like that's when we was having the Zoom. That's what I explained. I said, not most people don't understand that you already are national before. Like most people are already national before they come here. Not unless they come from a country that's part of a Hague Treaty. That's you fight that one. But for those of you who don't come from a country that's part of Hague, you start off with your birthrights.
Yep.
Like you don't want to come into a system to realize you stuck in the system. Now you want to get back out of the system. Like I guess it was the American dream.
But that's the thing, it's the American dream, not the United States dream.
Right.
The American dream is alive and well with your full faith and credit. Yeah.
There you go.
But people are sleeping under the U.S. They sleeping under the U.S.
I'm gonna start saying that differently.
They be in a daze. They like just walking around. What's on the news today? What's the weather?
Instead of going outside and looking for yourself.
You seen the game last night? I can't mess with these people, man. I'm just it's elevator small talk. You ever listen to people talking a game, bro? That's how I feel listening to some conversations in the public.
I'm not gonna lie, I feel like that all the time.
Hi, how are you? Wonderful weather.
How do I undo what my dad did? Well, first question is, did you come here? Were you born here or did you come here?
Yeah. Yes, you do need to learn this so CPS can't come at you. CPS is, they just be, it's funny how many people, you have to understand, cognitive dissonance is real. Being able to separate what's going on in your mind from the actions, because it's like, your rights are being infringed upon on a daily basis, and you're okay with it. You don't even notice. People don't even notice that their rights are violated. And I'm just like, you call that freedom? What is freedom about that? I'm very confused.
No freedom, and nothing about that freedom that I want. I don't want no part of that. If you came here and were you naturalized into here? See, I'm more here. Caleb was more like he knows more about the international stuff. He said, so what does he do as far as like, that shit is losing that fast. He said, what does he do about about him coming here as far as being naturalized?
Oh, it's real simple. So you basically, you already are basically, so, you know, you can go through the process, right? People go through the process to become a state national. You already are a national when you come here. You just got to apply for your credentials. So
do your government.
Yeah. So you go through the government, the U.S. government, and you apply for your state national credentials, right? The same way that once we correct our status, we would apply for credentials. You can just skip that step and you can go apply for your credentials. If you're coming from a non-Hague Convention country, you go apply directly for your credentials. And when you get them, you apply for your national passport, I'm sorry, so that you're allowed to freely travel in here. Then you present them with, look, I got my national passport. Because remember, you don't have to be a citizen to get a national passport. How do you think we get these passports if we're not citizens? See what I mean? But they don't teach you can do this. You go apply for your passport, and you get your passport. You get your national credentials, your ID, and then you come over here. You can file your UCC-1, get your EIN, fill out your SS4, and that's what replaces your SSN is the EIN. So you get that. That's one proof of identity. And then the second one is going to be you have to find another proof of identity, either from where you were born. I don't know if they have birth certificates where you're from or what your identification would be from where you are, but you need two forms of ID. One of them is going to be your EIN that you apply for after you file the UCC-1 and fill out the SS4. You see what I'm saying? So anyone who comes over here from a different country is already a national. You just apply for your national credentials. Don't apply to be a citizen. Remember, the 14th Amendment created a lower class of citizen. That's what you're applying for. You're applying to become a vessel of the United States. If you have dual citizenship, I don't know why you applied for dual citizenship, but you're going to have to get rid of that U.S. citizenship. And that's how you do that.
Give me 1 second, I'm sorry.
You're good.
And that's what the hell? That's the one thing I had to learn. Like, it's so many things. It's like, okay, so when I first read the Straw Man, like my dad told me about it when I was 16, about the Straw Man, right?
Mm-hmm.
After reading the Straw Man, it was like a break in the Matrix. It always is. And then you read the UCC, and then you read the Common Law Handbook, and then you read the Chief IRS Justice, and then you read the Common Law Handbook for jurors. You realize that this whole country is 100% completely ass backwards.
Yep. And what people don't understand is this country was built on fraud. This country was built on lies. This country was built on horrific acts. And those things have to continue to maintain this country. That's what people seem to get. They seem to think that after all the horrible fraud, lies, murders that went on in the beginning, that was it. It's not acknowledging that it still goes on to this day, because that's the only way to maintain the system that was built on that. You can't operate a legit system built on fraud. You have to continue the fraud to keep the system going.
Yeah.
You have to
Once
make
you start it, you gotta keep going with it.
Implies, yeah, that they never stopped. They just got better at hiding it. They took slavery from being in chains to being on your mind. They put the chain on you, and there wasn't ever really any slavery. There was prisoners of war. See that your history backwards. Us copper-colored folk, we were never slaves. Don't ever get that in your mind. Where the slave ships? 400 years, not one ship?
That's. Don't you find that suspicious?
Now,
because I find that suspicious. So you mean to tell me you ain't framed not one of these slave ships? Not one of them? Because you real proud in talking about the slave ships that existed. You real proud of it. So you ain't saved not one of these? You ain't saved not one of them? Not one of them. You mean to tell me you was like, you know what, guys? Just burn them all. Not you with your pride. Not your pride, bro.
Man, if
your
y'all don't
pride
know
is
about
everything.
Y'all don't know. Look, man. There's the history that you were taught in school, and then there's what really happened.
I always say your real education starts when you leave school. Like my education really, like, I thought finances and having a bunch of money was the way to change the world and to help people, right? That's what I thought. That's what you're taught. That the real power is in the money. But then that's when you realize the real power is not in the money. The real power is actually the absence of real money. That's how they've been ruling everything.
They got everybody so convinced that money is the way, but it's a misdirection.
It's a huge, like, it helps you get your message out there, but it doesn't give you power. Power to change lives. What gives you power to change lives is the laws. Because that's all they respond to. They respond to the laws. They respond to their own system. Because it's their system. And if they disrespect and walk all over their own system that they created, then the system no longer exists. You feel what I'm saying? They do. And how they do it is just more laws. So all you gotta do is just keep learning the laws. So people come, oh, it's bill, I wanna pay my bill, I wanna pay my bill, I wanna pay my bill. It's deeper than wanting to pay your bill.
Exactly. They got people worried about the wrong stuff. Paying your bill comes along with learning the true freedom of the world.
It's learning how they defrauded you in the first place. That's the real bill you gotta pay.
Exactly.
Once you pay that bill, all the other bills stop.
Sacrifice is a measure of credibility. Sacrifice is the measure of credibility. What are you willing to give up in this faux system, this fiat system, to get what is truly yours?
You realize they violated you every which way from Sunday. Like, put you down with something somebody told me, a good friend of mine, family even. I don't even know if she on is alive. But she told me she learned that they disrespect you as soon as you come out your mother's womb.
Mm-hmm.
Let me tell you how. Because by birth meaning water, you are already in this jurisdiction when you have a birth out your mother's womb and it's not on land. That's why they made you have a birth in the hospital.
It's 12 o'clock.
It's called birth because birth is synonymous with the birth of a ship docking to land. So connect that. You are birthing your child not on land. You are birthing your child on the ship.
This is why somebody tried to say, well, if you don't sign the paper for the birth certificate, they say you can't take your children. How does that work?
Says who?
You ain't gonna tell me I'll walk in there and take
You
my
can't tell me I can't take my child.
How you gonna
I'll smack the shit out you.
Exactly. And walk away. Be like, they were trying to kidnap my child, so.
She says, I heard this 15 years ago. I never really knew until recently how true it is. Yeah, is that true?
And look.
Is that true?
People don't understand. You can't go onto Google and search this up because it's all propaganda. Do y'all understand propaganda? You guys really got to go look up what propaganda is, and you learn that everything is propaganda. The news is propaganda. Your education is propaganda.
Propaganda.
You've been seeing propaganda so much in your life, you think it's normal. You can't identify propaganda. They teach you about how, say, the Nazis use propaganda, but then you can't recognize your own government's propaganda. How that work?
Google is no help. Use Brave. I've been using Brave.
Look, and you can tell that it's propaganda when they come down on it so hard. You try to look up anything sovereign citizen, they go on there and they just be, they call sovereign citizens paper terrorists. How are you a paper terrorist, bro? That should tell you something. They saying stuff that, and in fact, like they'll say something like, the IRS has a law prohibiting them from tracking people who produce, what is it, like fiduciary arguments or something. Or it's a word that starts with an F. It's like it's frivolous argument. So what they said is that the IRS, they can't track people who are sovereign and say I'm not paying. But then they put it under the guise. The IRS can't. They have a law preventing them from tracking people who say frivolous arguments. So what that mean? So they just told you the IRS can't mess with these people, but they say it's a frivolous argument. If it was frivolous, you know that frivolous means like false or fake. So why can't the IRS mess with them? You see what I'm saying? You're reading propaganda. If you can learn to decode the propaganda, that's how my mind, that's how I was able to pick up all the knowledge I got to. Decoding some of their propaganda.
And guess who made it legal? I'll give you a huge gamble on who made propaganda illegal. See, propaganda was actually illegal. Illegal and unlawful. Both. But guess who made it legal? And I give you a wild guess. This person had 8 years. How much do you think they hit us with on daily? As far as what? The person who, as far as what, elaborate, bro. As far as propaganda, how much propaganda they hit with on a daily? When you open your eyes?
When you open your eyes? You read propaganda. Any.
All of it. When you open your eyes and you look at the ceiling of your home, your house, that's propaganda because it's not called the house, it's called the home. The reason why they call it a house is because that's the first place that places you in their jurisdiction by calling it a house. when it's a home. Soon you watch. Yeah.
Everybody in my
Soon as you
comments
turn your
saying
TV on.
Obama.
Yeah, they know. They know who did it. I wasn't gonna say it out loud, but they know who did it.
Yeah, all media is owned by the 1%. Literally, go look up. I was learning about this. Literally, every single company, every single news media company, they're all owned by like 5 companies. That's stuff. Literally, every
Your
single
phone?
one.
Yeah, they had to get the TV right in front of you.
High frequency radio, you don't have to follow the UCC 11 first. That's the method he knows. You can just file a UCC 1. You want to file a UCC 11, you better go look up the function, file it if you want to.
That's deep too.
There was somebody in my comments who said he didn't even file a UCC 1. He just used the 1099
What's up, G?
discharge debt. He said he corrected his status through a bang, and then he told the Treasury to do their job. Because the job of the Treasury is to work for you and discharge your debt.
Yep.
Dollar for dollar.
Dollar for dollar. Like, we've been like, okay, so this is what my big sis told me. She said, how many of you think, all right, what is the only real note that exists? I'll wait on your side too. What is the only note that actually exists?
Somebody said promissory.
No. That's currency. I said note. You gotta learn the difference between Federal Reserve note and currency. You just said currency. That's currency. That's different. What is the only real Federal Reserve note that actually exists?
Note of piano.
It hasn't changed. It has never changed its face. It has never changed at all. Out of all the dollar bills you see, what is the only one that has never changed its face or its color? Boom. The dollar bill.
$1.
It's never changed its face or its color. You wanna know why? Because all the rest of that shit is monopoly money.
Straight up.
No. The $2. All right, so the dollar did change its face, but what I'm talking about is this. Since the green one was created, back from if you I'm talking about from my age on up, the dollar has never changed. Someone else's age on up, as far as like being 60 or like 45, probably since like 1930, they've probably seen a different dollar than I have. But as far as I'm concerned, the only one that never really changed since I've been alive has been the $1 bill.
Well, even
It has
even
never
on the
changed.
older dollar bill print, it's still George Washington face on there. The only thing that they've changed is the font that it was printed on.
The $2, and you know why the $2 hasn't changed? The reason why that hasn't changed is because no one uses it. We only change the ones people use because they get tired of looking at the same paper. Oh my God, look at this. It's all blue. It's so pretty. like that's a mind state.
And, the reason that they changed that, the reason they changed that 100 is because you can print that on your computer at home. You see what I'm saying?
They kept changing it to make it harder to print because, like, they tell people that the dollar is made from cotton. Well, I mean, that's true. But then you gotta ask yourself, who the fuck picked all that cotton? Woo!
Mm.
Woo! Woo! So you see how it intertwines there?
Yep. See, and they talk about counterfeit currency. That's another reason they had to add that security strip, because it was too easy to just print it out on your computer, dip it in some tea, and there you go. You got yourself a certified dollar bill.
It came out funny, but it was not funny. It came out funny, but it definitely was not funny. But that's the legal system.
Somebody said they
It
met with
comes-
the Bar Association.
Huh?
Lawyers, they can't speak on this. They'll lose their license.
People try to comment every time I talk about taxes or talk about law. No lawyer has ever approached my comment section once. You know why they can't approach my comment section, knowing that they want to? It's the simple fact: if they give up any information of real law, they lose their license.
Gone.
Like that.
Gone.
Because they know with the right codes, you can walk in there and fuck the right back out.
Yep. NDA. You take an oath. Yes. Non-disclosure agreement. You take an oath to uphold the State of the Union, to uphold the District of Columbia, the Vatican. You see what I'm saying? What's the third one?
So you.
Is it Rome?
Is
Is it London? It's one of those.
You want the key? I'm gonna give you the key, and I'm gonna tell you exactly what the key is. Don't miss it. Don't miss it. You ready? This is the key.
I'm just sipping on my drink.
That's the key.
Silence.
That's the key. The first question you ask before you go in the courthouse is, are you leaving your jurisdiction? That's the first question you answer. The second question you answer before you approach that bar is this a court of record? You ask questions, but you never answer them. Because they gotta answer your questions, but you don't gotta answer this.
Nope. My messages aren't blocked. You have to be friends in order to private message.
Like, that's how deep it goes. And someone sent me that. I already knew that, but that's the key. They already know. But
If you
see,
walk into
here's the problem.
Go ahead.
Here's the problem with having a lawyer. They're putting you in their jurisdiction. By doing what? For you.
This is why they have to pass the bar. Because unless they do, you're dead to the law.
Correct. Are you leaving your before you cross that courthouse, before you cross that door to go into the ship? You have to ask them, whoever's there, before you put your foot in there. This is a non-verbal contract. Before you put your foot in that door, you gotta straight up ask them. Ask them. Shut up. Ask them. Am I leaving my jurisdiction? I don't care if you gotta yell to the judge or whoever next to you. Someone of an official status has to say yes or no. If it's not yes or no, I'm not walking across the threshold.
Understand this, if you are sitting in a courtroom, right, when the judge walks in and they say, all rise, you better not stand up. Because if you do,
Put your
you
ass
enter
down.
into a contract with them.
That's a verbal contract.
Do not stand, otherwise you've entered into a contract.
Don't respond to no name. No, hey, hey, ha, ha, ha. Don't answer to nothing. Remain silent. Don't nod your head that you acknowledge that person. Nothing.
why all these other sovereign people charge money if they are free. Because you know how much time and research and energy they put into learning this information? How many trolls they had to fight? How many program people disagree with no knowledge on the subject? They want to exist just fine too. And also, sacrifice is a measure of credibility. Those who are willing to pay the price of their freedom will pay the price of their freedom. And then once they do, they'll be like, okay, now I understand why.
And you know why they made you stand? Damn, missed my exit. They made you stand because that was not a court of records.
Mm-hmm.
A court of records, they cannot make you stand.
Nope.
Because everything is recorded. Now you gotta understand, even with that, the judge can tell the officer, what is the damn name? The damn name for that person?
Magistrate.
No, the person who records everything. The person who records everything.
Shit.
Damn. Let's just say the recorder. Fuck it.
Yeah.
The recorder, the judge can tell the recorder to scratch that from the record. So bring your own recorder.
You can't
and
do
be
that.
humble about it. Yeah. Huh?
Stenographer.
Who said you can't do that? The stenographer. Who said you can't do? You can do that. Like, hey, you know what, Your Honor, for my records and your records, you know what? Just so nobody don't miss anything.
Say, I was aware this was not a court of record, so if you don't mind, I brought my own. They
You
can't
feel what I'm saying?
Why
They
are
can't.
you assuming? You're assuming. You have to understand. When you walk into a courtroom, they assume that you know everything about the law, especially if you are quote-unquote representing yourself. If you go in there without a lawyer, one of their members of their corporation, they assume that you know everything. They can't make you turn off your phone. They request that you turn off your phone and you willfully comply. This is the problem. People keep saying they make me this. They can't make you do anything you do not want to do. What? And again, if they try to remove you from the courtroom, you yell out loud before you leave. Let the record show the judge has abandoned this case, and I consider it closed without prejudice.
With extreme prejudice.
Yeah, with extreme prejudice. This case is closed. Let the record show the judge has abandoned the case.
And if there is no recorder, and you can't find your own, go live. Turn your phone on, sit it on the table, and go live and record your screen for however long, and record your screen for however long your battery will last until it die out. Mm-hmm. Now you got on record of people on live hearing the case.
And remember, it's a public court. All members of the public have right to be in there at any time. I, as a random stranger off the street, can walk into my local county courthouse and go into any courtroom and observe any of those cases in there.
That's a good idea. I think I might do that from now on.
And there's nothing they can do because it's a public courthouse. And they have to let me in. Like I said, y'all are all assuming. Everything is an assumption. An assumption is going to get you in trouble because you don't know. You're assuming. You know why? Because they put stigmas on things. They made you think you need to go to law school to learn the law. That was the first lie.
That's a fiction. What about the paper? Yeah, that is not you. That is your corporation.
Well,
what about the paper?
Even the Maxwell case. It's not a surprise it's not being covered in the news. Too many high-profile people are going down with that case.
Oh,
so
absolutely.
Everything you see in the news is a distraction. Like I said, y'all are assuming you have no power. Now, I can't fix that assumption for you. Okay? If you assume that anybody has any authority over you, then an unrebutted affidavit stands as proof. I speak out loud multiple times on video, on paper. No one has any authority over me. That's why I put up a declaration of sovereignty on my page. Now it's on record. Nobody has any authority over you. Not one. Oh no, see that's what they want you to believe. There's 100% media in federal courts. You just gotta bring it in. They can't make you do anything. You ask the judge, am I to understand that you're operating in some private jurisdiction that I'm not allowed to share with the public? Judge, see what I'm saying? You gotta play dumb. You gotta be a wolf in sheep's clothes. Ask the judge questions and lead him to where you want him to be. Because they can't lie. If they lie after they put their hand on that book and swear that they ain't gonna lie, that's it. Perjury. Like I said, you gotta catch them slipping. If you know what you're doing, you catch them slipping. Okay.
Not only that, what website do I go to claim my nationality and get my IDs? How can we get past without cell phones? It's a good question. They can't take your cell phones from you.
No,
it's a public space. I might not be. I might just file. You say, where do you go to get your national? You say, where do you go? What site do you go to get your national ID? Do you know?
Well, that depends. It really depends.
Right.
Because, like the website I have pinned in my thing, American State Nationals. That's one form of identification that you can get. When you sign up on there, you submit you get a reading pad, you put your thumbprint, you get your passport photo. That's one way. Now, you can also go look up how to get national ID, and that's what it's called. It's a national ID, and that is it's a separate number that they use to identify you, because most driver's licenses, they have a private number to identify you. So you got to go look up what a national ID is. Look up how to apply for a national ID, and you'll find it. I'm not mixing public with private. I'll get kicked off of this live real quick. Go look up how to get a national ID, how to get a national passport. That's what you need to look up. You'll find it. You'll find it. That's all I can say.
Says no cell phone. They mean no cell phone call.
That's a recommendation. That's a recommendation. Right.
That's all it is. And she said, I think it's a she. I can't really see. So gorgeous.
Yeah, y'all can check out David really Drake's website. I see people mentioning.
Yeah, she said the court say no cell phone, but they said no cell phone call. You can have a conversation, not meaning that
you can 100% report. Again, they are public officials. They're in the public. They're public officials for a reason. You can record them. You can do anything. That's why they're required to give you their name. This is why police officers are required to wear their name. But when a police officer asks you for your name, you don't have to give it. You see what I'm saying? They are public officials. They are required to give that information. They were required to be on record if you so choose. You see what I'm saying? Now, you'll never hear this from a lawyer. Okay? Lawyers cannot give you any information that's going to help you free yourself. This is why I put lawyers are fraud.
And attorneys.
But prove me wrong.
She said they literally make me leave it at the front. Then that means you can't enter the building. It's supposed to be.
I don't know what she's talking about. I had my phone in the courtroom when I went. Phone all in the courtroom. I was on there. I was reading my materials because I had my notes. I had my notes ready. I went to court just a little back, a little ways back. Had all my notes ready.
Like
didn't stand when the judge walked in. Had everything on record. Walked right out.
Like, if you can't, you gotta understand, it's supposed to be a public space. If you enter somewhere and you can't have the things on you that's belonging to you in a public space, then you shouldn't be going.
When you go to the IRS website and you look up the SS4 UCC1 form, it tells you where to send it.
It's all presumption and assumption and voluntary. Like, I was having some conversation with someone I call family, and
it's a method in the book when it comes to contracts. The first contract you make is the bill you pay, right? But it's one suggestion in there that says you can just write no contract on a piece of paper and then do 1-308 all rights reserved. But the problem is that you got to tell people that you can't have paid no money if you can't pay no money at first. But then what if you do that and you send it back without instructions, without an affidavit? Even if it is no contract, you still gotta put them under contract, even if it is taking that piece of mail unopened and send it back with instructions.
Yeah, no. See, anything that they like, even if they try to hand deliver you a document, it's not to you. Nothing is addressed to you. It's addressed to your strongman. So what you do is you send it through the mail right back to him. Accept it for value.
Like,
put them on notice. You have to put them on notice for everything. This is what people don't understand. Put them on notice. If they don't respond, put them on notice again. If they don't respond, the third time you send it out with a notice of default judgment. If they don't respond this time, you're putting them on default. And then ICE. That's it. You're done.
Like, all these things we learned, like me and Caleb, he study, I study, and we come together. But it's like,
what is the default notice when it's UCC 9203, I believe. 9-203
so.
is default.
That's arbitrage, right? Did I say that right? Arbitrage?
Yeah, I think so.
I think 9 is arbitrage. I cannot say
arbitrary?
That word, right? Yeah. Arbitrary. I'm just gonna say arbitrary because it's another word with the "aj" in it, but yeah.
Yeah. And then so this is what y'all need to go look. UCC 1-103 states that the Uniform Commercial Code, the code that all 50 states have adopted for their court systems, they operate under the Uniform Commercial Code. Okay, look up UCC 1-103. This states that the Uniform Commercial Code is supposed to be in line with the principles of law and equity. And it says unless displaced by the partitions of this code. You see what I'm saying? So anytime that the UCC is not in line with the principles of law and equity, it's null and void. This is where UCC 1-308 comes in. All rights reserved. You're reserving your rights to law and equity.
Only.
What I'm saying. So you can't just put 1-308. You got to put 1-103 too, to let them know the principles of law and equity are what you're reserving your rights to. See what I'm saying?
And it is like you the deeper you go into it, the more references. Like, sometimes I get it why they be charging like $500, $600, $7,000. I get it.
It's a vetting process.
But
it's a vetting process.
It's not worth the $5,000, $6,000, $7,000.
No,
I understand.
Especially when you got full faith and credit. Go on.
Like, yeah, like once you got full faith and credit, charging $500 doesn't make any sense. It doesn't. To those who do, I'm not really knocking them. But once you got full faith and credit, you got control of your straw man. Get yourself a credit card, live your life.
Yeah. But see, the problem is so many people want this information, but they don't want to study. So they want you to give them the studying that you did. So that's what I can understand why. Because, if you spend 300 hours studying and somebody just want to get all that for free after you struggled. Because let me tell you, I went through a lot of people who wanted to charge me, and I was like, I'm not going to pay for it because I know that you learned for free. So I'm going to learn for free too. And I did. I know everything. Almost. Not. I know a good amount of. I know how to be a secure party creditor. I know the benefits of it. I know how to discharge. I know how to do all of these things. You see what I'm saying? I went through and I learned the process. Now I know as much as they do. Almost. Right? They probably got
I'm
some more in-depth information, but I can tell you how to be an SPC right now. The benefits, all of that. Like, look at this right here. I got a thing from Experian here. Right? Again, you'll see it's addressed to the all caps name, right? But they're notifying me that something negative was added to my credit, right? So what I can do is go on there and say, look, I never gave y'all express written consent, so this is identity theft. Then you throw the code on there for aggravated identity theft. They'll take it off real quick. See, people think I'm playing around. I had an apartment, right? I don't live there no more because I had a roommate. He wasn't in on this train, so I had to get out that situation. But I had a roommate, and I did this with my bills, the remittance transfers. You see what I'm saying? I learned about this stuff, and I put it to action. People act like I don't put this stuff to action. I went to the court. I beat the case. I beat the bar. So I know it works because I live this. And so when people come in my comments, the burden of proof ain't on me. Because you didn't ask for no proof from the fake system that you grew up in. So why are you asking me for proof? Because I know what I'm doing is true. You don't know half of what I know. So I can't argue with y'all, man. I'm going to give y'all.
No matter if you give it. He said no matter if you give it to people, you still have to study it for yourself.
Exactly. And if you don't want to study for yourself, I can't help you. Because and this is my biggest thing. There's a reason I want you to study. Because if you don't study, you're going to end back up in the same place that you were in. You got to where you are. My people are destroyed for a lack of knowledge. A lack of knowledge. You got to know. And I want everyone to know. That's all I want. That's why I give this information for free. As much as I can without being destroyed by these people. I want people to be free. It's my deepest heart's desire. That's why I don't deal with the trolls. I can't, because the people who want to learn will learn. People who want to research will research. And those are my family. 100%. I consider all of y'all family. I want you to be free. That is all I want. And my heart is for everyone to be free.
It's very important to learn the law and study. So when the time comes, you have the law working you. Right. Like, and then it's like you got to understand, freedom is mental. Freedom is 100% mental. It's not physical. It's mental first. Then you learn the physical part of being free. Then you learn the application of being free. How to apply it. It was someone in my group chat, she was like, "What's your proof?" Man, I was so heated to a certain extent. You want me to prove I'm free? Don't you smell me breathe? Don't you hear me breathing this fresh air? Well, we're not getting the chemtrails, but
yeah.
don't you breathe with me this moderately? This rare fresh air.
Govern means to control. Ment means mind. Y'all understand that, right? Government, mind control. Control mind. That's what the word means. See, nobody understands what English means. What benefits are you talking about, sir? Shamrock, what benefits are you talking about? What are these benefits? I'm very confused.
Tell me.
I don't know about no benefits of being a slave.
That's what, somebody sent that video to me talking about they was defending slavery, slavery, and it was like, well, it had many benefits of slavery.
Exactly. Governmental. Govern your mind. Control mind. That is what, when you look at the etymology of the word government, it means mind control. Control mind. This is why you govern yourself.
You have to.
Nobody understands the English language. If you did, it'd be a whole different story. You ever wonder why they have us using the alphabet? Are you aware of brainwave frequencies? Alpha, beta, gamma, theta, delta. Alpha, beta, alphabet. Come on now. You're disabled and retired 100%. Well then, sir, For you, I recommend do you. Unless the disability you're getting and the retirement you're getting is not enough to cover your funds, stay put where you are. If you're content, stay put. It might be more of a headache for you to go through this process at your age if you already got everything you need to live. The reason I'm telling people to go through this process is because they don't have sufficient resources to live correctly, to live how they should. If you feel that you are sufficient in your resources, then stay where you are. I do not want to advise you to go through this process because it's a headache. It's a long process, right? You could get your full faith and credit if you want to, but sir, if you have the resources to live, stay where you are. You're in your older age. Don't put that stress on yourself.
No, sir.
So,
but,
that's what I say to that.
I hope people learn something.
Yes, this is all applicable to naturalized citizens, because when you naturalize yourself, you're no longer a citizen. You're a national, a state national. You have allegiance to the state you were born in, the continental United States. You're back in the jurisdiction of the land. See what I'm saying? The world is 100% not black and white. Polarization. That's another way they control you.
You gotta understand that those are statutes because people are lazy to do a simple task to help them. 100%. Black and white is a statute. Show me black and white in the rainbow. Show me black and white. Show me black and white in the rainbow that is a color. Show me.
Please.
Don't show me it. Go show me the black and whites in the rainbow, which has all original colors. Go show it to me.
Look, this is how
I'll tell you what black means.
Oh, see, y'all don't want to know what black means. That's why I put a video on my page. What is a black man? Do y'all know what that means? What you're saying?
Correct.
When you say a black man, are you talking about the hateful man? Are you talking about the mentally unstable man? Are you talking about the just go look up black. Go look up the definition and read every definition of that word. Like I said, it's the language of implied context. So you assume they're talking about copper-colored skin folk, but they're not. Yeah.
If you learn what black really means, you would realize that the people that are really black
got the whitest skin sometimes. That's all I look. The most dangerous mindset you can have is a pro-black mindset. Anybody who's pushing black, I run the other direction. I run the other way because I know what black means. Do y'all know what black means? Educate yourself, please. Before you call yourself black, educate yourself. That's the most disrespectful thing you can call me. My hair is black. Shoot. Because it absorbs all frequencies of light. Don't get me started. Do not get me started on that.
Black means black literally is loosely translated to white, shining, and pale.
In fact, when you go look at the archaic, when I say archaic, that means medieval, original. The archaic root of black means wicked. So you calling me wicked?
So you calling me a wicked, white, pale, shining person?
Yeah, that's what black means.
Is that what you calling me?
Look, any record of us before then, you get Niger, you get Negu, you get more, you get all of these words, but not black. Black is very recent days.
Very recent. I'm black and I'm brows.
Y'all know about the Dawes rolls?
That's an oxymoron, right?
What y'all know about the Dawes rolls, bro? Y'all know about the Dawes rolls. Go look it up. $5 Indian, Dawes rolls. Go look it up. If you don't know what a $5 Indian is, you're going to be ashamed to learn that 95% of those people who claim to be native today are not. Because their ancestors paid $5 to get put on a list for some benefits. Go learn your history. $5 Indians, y'all. $5 Indians. Aboriginal, yes, sir. Aboriginal. I am living soul, the natural man.
And that note, I think I'm gonna end it on my phone.
Sipping on my drink.
I'm about to go get some sleep. That was the killer for me right there. That was the killer for me right there.
Yes, sir. Hit me up whenever you want to go live. I'm available.
You said which one? Isn't it two? It's ABORIGNAL, and I think that's the one.
Yeah.
That's the right one, right?
Aboriginals.
Yeah.
Go look up American Aboriginals and see what you get on Google. You'll see. You'll see what an Aboriginal is. Y'all don't know. Latinos got scammed out of native status. Texas, that was Mexico. Look, man, y'all Latinos, I don't even like that word. Where you think you got your melanin?
Neither.
Look, where you think you got your melanin?
That word.
Have you ever heard of an Afro Latino, a black person, a copper color skin tone person? Come on now.
Afro Latino.
What's that?
You said those $5 Indian word. What was the $5 Indian word you said you used?
The Dawes rolls. DAWES rolls, and then type in $5 Indian. Dawes rolls, $5 Indians. Straight up Caucasian. DAWES.
DAWES. Oh wow. Okay, now I remember seeing that word. Okay, now it's familiar.
Dawes
What you talking about?
rolls.
Like people calling themselves Hispanic and Latino. Like if you broke these words down, man, you would never call nobody that shit ever again in your life.
Nope.
That's
the only reason that they lighter like that is because they got conquered by the Spaniards. See what I'm saying? That's why they speak in Spanish down there. It's the same land. How is it that here on the same land, it's because they got conquered by different people? See what I'm saying?
Yep.
Colorism is
I'm in this live, guys.
Yeah.
I hope y'all having fun, man. Hope y'all learned a few things, but I'm actually exhausted.